Hi, everybody.
And it says we're live. Hello, everybody. It's another Friday. These weeks are just going by like hotcakes.
Sure.
Yeah, we got a cold snap coming in, so hopefully everybody will be all, snuggled and cozy at home with their favorite books and blankies and fur babies. So another week, and we have Shelby waiting for us, and we have Karen. Hello, Karen. We have Janet is here. Miss Tarot D. Hello, Miss Tarot D. Um, and so yeah. Well, how has your week been, my dear? Besides work?
Besides work or including work?
Well, whatever you want to share, like every Friday.
Um, I'm sure everybody would like, or some would like a scout update, which I will provide. Work was uh work was fine. Something happened. What happened? Oh my god. Oh, that would be too long to explain. And that doesn't really affect you. Yeah, it's not really something to share. We had really inclement weather a couple mornings. There was one morning that we shouldn't even have had school. It did clear up by like 9 o'clock, but like when we were out driving, it was really dangerous. I was shocked
Mm-hmm.
that we had school. I'm going to say that was Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday morning. We have very, very, very cold weather coming next week in the negatives, which I'm sure probably that some of you out there do as
Yep.
well. I know Heather's going to have cold weather too, but it's supposed to be really cold Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Monday we
Mm-hmm.
don't have school anyways. It's MLK. It's also the inauguration, but we don't have it because of MLK. So thank goodness. But I really hope they call it because it's going to be with the wind chill. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like when my son was in school, I wouldn't have sent him, or I definitely would have driven him. There's no way I would have sent him to the bus stop. And that's the thing. I mean, we're a lot of the area where I live is out in the country, a lot of it. And so those kids are on the buses for a long time, and the drivers are on back dirt roads. It's just not safe.
Mm-mm.
Um, and then the routes run late, which means the kids are at the bus stop longer. Like my kids aren't really at the bus stop because I actually my kids, it's definitely on in the very wealthy part of town, the neighborhood that I drive for, and they, um, they're in their house until basically I pull up. Pretty much most of them, but a lot of kids down the really long driveway, dirt roads, like you can't see the bus coming, you can't see, my yellow ambers flashing or anything as I'm approaching. So it's, anyways, it's just not safe. Um, Anyways, last week, for any of you that were here, know that my male dog Scout, who did make a cameo appearance, was under the weather, but I didn't go into detail as to what was happening. Um, and actually, Heather, hold on just 2 seconds, would you? I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on 1 second.
Sure. And thank you, Karen. That's so sweet of you to say that. And people stay tuned. Karen and I might, well, we not might. Karen and I have a little something something fun planned for this weekend. And up, okay.
Oh, I heard that.
So come here. Let's get this over with. Ugh, my God. Alrighty, alrighty. There we go. So you can say hi to Auntie Allison, Auntie Miss Tarot D,
So
Auntie
cute.
Karen, and everybody out there. So here we go. You gonna be a good boy for a few minutes? Sit on my lap. Hmm. All right. The minute the claws go in, he's getting down. He
Right.
can't control himself. So, alrighty. So you were saying?
Yeah, so last Friday, our show is Friday. Last Friday, I go to work really early. I'm back about 9:30. When I got home, and Scout had been fine in the morning. When I got home at 9:30, as soon as I opened the door, um, it was really obvious something was wrong with him. He was like staggering. He couldn't walk straight. He was seemed a bit disoriented. It was just like, what is going on? And then it got progressively worse. And it was terrifying, to say the least. I thought he had either, because Scout, for those of you that don't know, this is my male dog, and he's fully blind in his left eye, and his right eye, I think, which I'm about to find out, might be starting to lose some vision in it. So, anyways, it was really bad. It was really bad. He was frightened. And this is a very confident, super happy little dog that, people always say, oh, your little dog thinks he's a big dog. And I think that's probably maybe possibly true for some dogs, but really, to me, what that means is they have the confidence of a big dog. They're not, shy or intimidated or afraid or whatever. And that's how Scout is, but he's also very friendly. So it was just really, I could go on and on and on and on and on, but I won't. The bottom line is he wasn't doing any of his normal things. Also, Scout has a tail that goes up like a Shiba Inu type thing, right? And it lays on his back. His tail was down all week, most of the week, like down, which is like a barometer of how he's feeling. He was just nervous if he was asleep and then woke up and I wasn't right there, he'd pace around very anxiously looking for me. It was horrible. And I couldn't get into my vet. My vet couldn't see him. This happened on Friday. The vet's closed on the weekend and they couldn't get him in. And then I ended up thank God, I had a phone consult with my vet. She took her lunch hour to call me, and ended up talking to her because I couldn't take the time off, because I took time off Friday, which I never take off time without planning it ahead. It was effectively calling in for my second shift, but I did talk to my boss and explain exactly what was going on. And he's like, yeah, by all means, we'll get you covered. And anyways, I spoke with the vet, and I had thought he had either had a stroke or a seizure. I did not Google it because I'm not an idiot who wants to suffer and torment myself. And I'm so glad that I didn't, because when I talked to her, she asked me a whole string of questions, which were awesome. And he has something that's called vestibular syndrome, which is it's a condition that happens primarily with geriatric animals. It can be secondary to other things, but she believes it to be a occipital. Is that what it is? Occipital, where it's just occurring on its own. It usually takes care of itself within 1 to 3 weeks. And basically it's an inner ear condition, but it does tie into the nervous system to a degree. And basically it's kind of like when we would have like if you're having motion sickness combined with oh God, what is that called? Oh God, I'm totally drawing a blank. And I used to work with people that had what's the dizzy thing and it won't go away? Vertigo. Thank you. Vertigo. It's so yeah. And he's half blind. So it's like your world is fucking spinning. You can't it's like everything's flying around and you can't see. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
It's awful. And to be for an
animal. And you're a dog and you can't communicate, you can't even talk. Anyways, he wasn't doing any of the things that he normally did. He had no appetite, and this dog is all about food because he was a dumpster dog, right? He was homeless and whatever when he was found. And so he wasn't doing any of the things that he does that are him, like almost none of them. It was really, really tough. And I totally went in. I became a complete hermit. I I couldn't talk about it. I mean, I was thinking about it and dealing with it, but like I didn't want to talk with anybody about it at all. I was just dealing with it as best I could. Anthony, I was just texting and talking to him on the phone. I didn't see him all week. Um, but anyways, he did start, because I was watching him like a hawk. I still am. After like a day, 2 days, he already was showing some improvements. Y'all, he couldn't even stand to pee without falling over, like completely collapsing, falling over. And it's
Oh,
not funny. It's heartbreaking. Like I said it to somebody and they kind of giggled. And I'm just like, no, it's not fucking funny. Not when it's your dog and he's the sweetest thing ever, and he's scared to death. Anyways, he's doing really great. He was like 3 days ago, I think it was, he did downward dog, and then I could tell the way he was standing. He went back to smelling Lulu, which he hadn't done in days. He smelled where she peed and wanted to pee on top of it. These are all normal things that he wasn't doing.
mhm.
Um, he got his appetite back. At first, all he wanted was chicken. That's it, nothing else. But then I've since given him several things. Last night he asked to go for a walk.
That's nice.
He's peeing on three with lifting his leg on both sides now, left side, right side. If he shakes really, really hard, he'll kind of stumble and half fall. He did fall earlier, but he was on the wood floor,
Yeah.
and he really does do best on carpet. I have carpet in the bedroom. You guys have probably heard me talk about it. I absolutely hate carpet, can't stand carpet. But the reality is he does better on carpet, which makes sense that he would. I mean, wood floors are always slippery for dogs, right? So, what else? Actually, that's enough. Bottom line is he is, I would say, as of today, he's probably 85% better, which is a lot. He's still not quite there because he still does some little tipsy weird things. I do have him back in the bed with me. I got him out of the bed like about a year ago. I've had him in the bed every night just because I thought it would make him happy, and it does. He does fall when he's on the bed, but of course he does, right? He might
Yeah.
fall anyways because it's so, his feet are this big, and the bed is soft, and he also he's always been a spinner. Like he spins around in circles to, like, before he's gonna poop, he does it before he's gonna lay down. He does all this spinning stuff, and when your
Mhm. Lulu did that.
equilibrium's messed up,
Mhm.
spinning probably isn't a good idea. But he's doing much, much, much better. So thank you to anybody that said prayers for him. He's absolutely on the mend, and I have my scout back. I was very worried that this was it before I knew what was going on. And it's
Yeah.
crazy. You go, and that's how it shows up, though. That's how this, it's a syndrome. They also called it, what is it? Vestibular disease. It's vestibular syndrome, but some people, it's also called that, but it's really not a disease. It's a thing that happens. And again, it's quick onset. They, like so many things, don't know that much about it, but there's a well-known pattern of what it looks like and how it acts. And my vet was telling me, this last thing I'll say, she gets calls, or people calling in to make an appointment, very often with older dogs, and they're calling in to make end of life plans because they think this is it. And after she hears the symptoms, because they are similar, but they're not the same as a
Mhm.
stroke or a seizure. Strokes are very, very rare, apparently. They happen, but they're extremely rare, which I didn't know. Seizures are far more common. She'll tell people, give it a week, 10 days, this is probably going to go away and never come back. And most of the time, that's the deal. It can be secondary to other issues, but she asked me a whole bunch of stuff. And I mean, yeah, his vision, but other than that, he's quite healthy. So he doesn't have anything going on. His knee acts a little weird once in a while, but there's no known illnesses or anything like that. So,
Yeah. My knee goes out too on me every now and then. The
I
joys
mean,
of
it
being
doesn't,
older.
he's got
Yeah.
sliding patellas. A lot of dogs do.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and actually, it doesn't even, I shouldn't even say it's not an issue. It hasn't been an issue, but she found it upon physical exam, and she says it's something that could show up later. That was like a year ago or two or whatever. But anyways, that's the scout update. Thank you to everybody. Miss Taro
Yes,
D was
thank you,
so sweet.
everybody.
She
Mm-hmm.
emailed me a couple times and inquired, and I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
everybody in chat's been happy to hear he's doing better. Janet says my friend's elderly Aussie has that issue. So
Has or had? Because it
she
only
put
lasts for a very short period of time.
so she has it as has, but maybe just at that one point, um, that one time. And Shelby's, I'm so sorry, my heart goes
Thank
out
you.
to
He's
you.
fine though, but thank you. It was very
And she's
like
saying you
until
love a
I
lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Until I knew what was going on. Oh my God. But I just feel bad that he had to go through it. But he's
And Shelby
pretty
said
much through
too,
it.
I'm a certified vet assistant, although I haven't been in the medical field, but what you said sounds familiar. So,
Yep.
and she
It's
says,
called
bless efforts.
vestibular syndrome, but it's also called vestibular disease. It usually resolves in about 2 weeks. And like I said, often it's secondary to something else. It's inner ear, but it's also tied into the central nervous system to some degree. And like I said, they don't know a ton about it, but it only happens in geriatric um, canines. Felines get it too. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure in the wild as well. We just don't know as much about it.
Yeah. And Karen says, oh, bless the fur babies.
Yeah.
Yes. And hello, Garnet, my dear. Thank you for joining
Oh, I
us.
do have something else I'll say, unless you want me to wait a minute.
Just really quick
Yeah,
here. Mark is he goes by Spirit Whisper. He talks to animals, so I think a couple people were recommending if you ever
I
need to
tried.
talk.
He didn't, I sent him a PayPal too. He didn't get to my question
Okay. Um,
and he's fine now.
and
So
Miss Tarot D is so happy. I'm so glad he's
me
improving
too.
because we
Thank
all
you,
know Miss
honey.
Tarot D loves Scout.
Yeah. And
Uh,
he'll make an appearance.
and let's see. This is Don. And he said my mom suffered from vertigo for like 3 years before she got her ears taken. Everyone dismissed it for way too long. So, yeah, you gotta watch out for that. So, it's good to see you, Don. It's been a while.
Vertigo
Um,
can be
and
caused by many different things too.
and we got caught up. So just a lot of people just happy that you both are doing better and he's doing better. So
Yeah, it's been an emotional, I mean, I was fine, but I was not fine, like
well,
nobody
yeah,
would have
you're mommy.
known.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to say, this is a little side note. Miss Lulu, little disappointed in her.
Oh, not my
She
Lulu.
yes. So this is the deal. Scout and Lulu get along fine. Okay. Scout is very friendly. And if he had it his way, they would be probably super cuddly. Lulu keeps him at arm's length. They do share a kiss or a lick, dog licks here and there
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, like if they're both excited about something. Sometimes she initiates it, usually it's him, but there'll be an exchange like that and whatever. Um, the couch is pretty much owned by my dogs. I never sit down, so I don't sit on the couch, but they're on the couch. And he will try to lay by her sometimes, and she'll kind of let him, but it's like, yeah. So, anyways,
Mm.
when he was really not feeling well and I put their food down a couple different times, and she's never done this. She knew, I mean, they're dogs, they're super smart, right? They're aware of exactly what's going on, especially Lulu. You've heard me joke around. She's got her notepad and her pencil, and she's always paying attention and watching everything. She doesn't miss anything. And she's really nosy, but she acts really like inconspicuous, but it's like she doesn't miss anything. And she saw that he had his food and he wasn't really eating it. She came over and she was like trying to steal off of his plate because he wasn't feeling good. And then also when he was feeling like crap, she did
Mm.
not, she's just like she didn't seem to care at all or notice it all. And there was something else that she did other than the plate swipe. Trying to think what it was. Oh, I threw treats down, just a couple for both of them. And he didn't eat them, but he was still, they were right there by him. They were his. And she came over and she was trying to take those from him. And he's just not well enough, and maybe he doesn't care, and probably that's the
Mm.
case. But I was just like, look at her being all like in the wild, right? Like, what it like, I'm sure probably most of you, if not all of you, know that like and I don't really necessarily believe that dogs come from wolves. I really don't. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I'm just not
Hmm.
convinced. But anyways,
That's interesting.
but the mentality is very similar, even if they are not related. But the whole, and a lot of animals are like this, where one is weak, you just kind of get, like, see ya,
Yeah,
and
like the
that's
pack.
just the
Yep.
way it is, and they'll take
Hmm.
your food and shit, and you don't get anything to eat, and they're just like, yeah, you're holding everybody down, dude, and
Yeah.
so yeah, and she did
But
something
she's such a
else, and I'm trying to
sweetheart.
think what it
She
was.
looks at you with those little big chihuahua
Yeah, but she's kind of, and you know
eyes.
what she did
Yeah.
do this week, you guys, and it wasn't I don't know. So it got really, really cold here. I shouldn't even tell this, but I'm going to call her out because I'm a little annoyed with her. She peed by the door the other day. Yep,
Ooh. Instead of going
yep.
on her pee pee pad or going outside. Yeah.
What's that?
I thought you said she had a little pee pee pad in the
Oh
house
hell
too.
no, I would never
Oh
do
no.
that.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no, and sorry, no judgment. I shouldn't say that. No, I just, oh no, I have a whole thing with urine. There's just no way. No.
And she did that in the
And
in
she peed
front.
in front of the door. I'm like, you little. And I took her out. They always go out. Oh my God, my dogs go out so much, but it was super cold. And she just, oh yeah, that's another thing she was doing. She kind of peed like, a little bit. And then that was it. And then in the night, she won't make a big fuss about having to go out. But I woke up in the morning and I just had a feeling, probably one of my guides or my mom, because my mom hated that too. And I walked over by the door. It was dark. I grabbed my phone. I went like that. I just, and it was right there. I'm like, you. And when she pees, like even outside, it's so little. I mean, it's like, it's not even it's probably half of a quarter cup, like an eighth of a cup, right? Most of us cook or bake or whatever, have her. It's a very small amount, but it doesn't matter. But I was just so pissed. At least it was right on the my hardwood floor, so it took 2 seconds to clean up. But I was just,
Mm.
yeah. Anyways, so she's kind of on my shit list for peeing on the floor.
Oh dear. And Miss Taro
And
D said
she's
when
fine. There's nothing wrong with her. It's cold, and she doesn't like to go outside when it's cold. That's all. That's all.
mm, and Miss Taro D said when Cher was very sick and transitioning, Sonny, her twin brother, completely ignored her, which was strange since they were inseparable their
Really?
whole lives. That's sad. That must have been
It
heartbreaking for Miss
is.
Taro
It
to
is.
see
And
that.
and the funny thing is, and thank you for sharing that. So really quickly, and not to be morbid at all, but I just have to, because of what she just said. I had two Boston Terriers for their whole lives. I got them when I was married. We got Romeo first, and then we got Ruby 2 years later. Boston Terriers, and at when Romeo was 14 and a half, um, he transitioned, and Ruby had a really hard time. She was I'm gonna say depressed, but when I would go to work, and I was only gone for, like, I was a personal fitness trainer, and I would go to the little private club that was down the street. I'd be gone for like 3 hours. I'd come home for a couple, and then I'd be gone for two or three or whatever. It was a very cut up little schedule, right? It's not like I was gone for 8 hours.
Hmm.
I came back. One day it was really bad. I came back. She had chewed the trim. This is a dog that never did nothing.
She was
She had chewed the
traumatized.
trim around the door, wanting to get out, wanting to, like, I don't know, look for me or try to find him, or I don't know what, or it was just anxiety. And I never, ever, ever, ever thought I would do this. Actually, I'll tell you, and then I'll give a little backstory, and then I'll be done yammering. Um, Very good friends of mine, an older couple that lived near me, had a third, another Boston Terrier that I had actually found. Actually, took I took the dog from an abusive situation, literally stole the dog away from somebody who was mistreating it, fostered it, if you will, for a while, and then I rehomed it to this couple. The wife was a client of mine at the club, and almost a year later, this happened with Romeo, and then Ruby being in a mess. And after many discussions and back and forth, and me thinking I wanted to do it, but not being ready, anyways, Ruby went and lived with them. I had both of them their whole lives. I was not going to get another dog at that time. Plus, I wasn't even sure if that would help, if it wouldn't help, whatever. But it was just so. So I try not to judge when people do that, because, like, I never thought I would rehome one of my animals. There's no reason to. Well, guess what? A situation arose where there absolutely was a reason to do it. And she loved them, because I used to take both of them over there to visit with Roxy, which was the dog that I had adopted out to them and
They had
whatever.
companionship.
And yeah, and she loved Roxy. And anyway, so I would go and visit quite a bit, and she was happy as could be with them. She didn't miss a beat. She'd flip out every time I came over and was super excited. They did let her get really fat. They gave her treats all the time and overfed her. Both of my dogs' weight was really good their whole lives, and they were very healthy. But whatever, she died happy, and sooner than she should have. But nonetheless, she was happy with Roxy, and she was well taken care of, and I still got to see her. And yeah. And so, you never know what's going to happen. And so, but anyways, yeah. Yep. That story about me acquiring that dog would be a good one to tell, but I'll tell it another time. Yeah, I actually took 2 dogs from somebody that was abusing their dogs, 2 Bostons. One went one place,
I would be
one went the
willing to
other.
do that if I knew.
Yep, it was a trip. I'll tell that story some other time, but yeah.
And Shelby,
one of my better moments.
She goes, I do know that they do have a different sense, like they can feel things more highly, or can tell before anything happens. And 2 of 3 of the hardest things to do within the humanitarian field is children and animals. Yep, you never know what's happening. Oh, they look injured or sick. Yeah.
Yep.
So, but we're all just happy that Scout's feeling better.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm going to have a little talk with Lulu. I'll send meditation. Listen, little
She
girl.
is such a stinker. And then today I walked them both, because Scout wanted to go for a walk this afternoon, and they were just like they've always been. It's so funny, when they're on a walk, they're a team. They're totally a team, and they fall into the whole, like, again, maybe they are from wolves, I don't know, but they do fall into like a pack mentality. And she, like, if anything happens when they're on a walk, they're a team. Period. Right? She's the boss. She's always been. Lulu's absolutely in charge. There's just no question about it, which is hilarious. But that's just how it is.
Yeah, Shan says, I don't want any more pets after, Mozzie and Ziva pass away. And I want to agree with him, but it's so weird. It would be so weird going through life without some sort of pet. So who knows? Maybe finances will prove, down the road. But yeah, it's emotionally taxing, when you don't have, what vets charge for care. It's hard for people to be able to adopt and rescue and do things with animals in need because of that. And Beth says, is Lulu a Chihuahua? And I think you said she's part Chihuahua.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah. Yeah, she is. She's probably, who the hell knows? I certainly don't, but I would think that her mother and her father were Chihuahua, but there was something somewhere along. She's deer head, she's not apple head. But she's a little long, and like she has a very swoopy like line, like her rib cage, and then up into her waistline is very
Like my
kind of
Lulu.
like an
Yeah.
Italian greyhound, but she doesn't look
Yes.
like an Italian greyhound. But that doesn't mean that she doesn't have any. I mean, I've watched these shows and
Whippet
they
too.
do the whole like they do the DNA and all that. There can be stuff in your dog that you would never think.
Hmm.
Never. So, who the hell knows?
Yeah, we come across Whippet videos on YouTube, and when we watch them, it's like looking at Lilu, except they have longer snouts, and the
They're big too.
characteristics and the
Yeah.
bodies.
Hmm.
And she was a little bit smaller, so we knew there was something else mixed into her, and it had to be Chihuahua because I know Chihuahua was very popular Southwest, not far from Mexico. So we were figuring she was probably like a Whippet Chihuahua something mix, and a lot of videos or pictures that Allyson sent me of Lulu. It's just like, oh my god, it looks like my Lulu doing that. It brings
Yeah.
up memories, so it's really sweet. And Beth says,
Like,
I freaking love Chihuahuas, and I know they're trouble. Little
what's
cute
so
bundles
funny?
of trouble.
This is sound terrible, and Miss Terody isn't gonna probably
Hi,
like this.
Fatima.
And I love all animals and dogs, but like Chihuahua is not a breed that I'm drawn to at all. Like at all. I'm
Miss
just
Tara D
not.
clutching her pearls
But
right now.
but don't get me wrong. I mean, I could go over to like Miss Terodi's and I'd just be, slobbing all
Mm,
over dogs, because that's just how I
mm,
am. But like if I like you know what I mean. You have certain breeds that you're drawn to. Like,
yeah.
Miss Terodi must be drawn to Chihuahuas. Um, but I never saw myself, first of all, with a little tiny dog. I've always had big dogs or medium sized dogs. And in fact, when I was married and we got the Boston Terriers, that's the smallest I'd ever gone. But like a Boston Terrier, they're solid as a rock, man. They're
Mm-hmm.
little dogs, but they're compact and muscular, and there's nothing delicate about a Boston.
Mm.
Um, so, uh, but yeah, I was living in an apartment when I was in California before I went to move, and all I could get was a really little dog. And so I was watching the shelters, and they get adopted so quickly, the little tiny apartment dogs, that it
Yep.
was months and months and months and months and months. And I put it out to the universe and whatever. And then I went in and I found a little dog named Luna that was a because I wanted to get an older dog because they just don't get adopted as much.
Yeah.
But she didn't connect with me. She was a little Chihuahua, and she had been paired up with this little dog named Twinkie. That Lulu, and Twinkie was
Oh,
going home every night with a foster type mom because she was not adjusting to the shelter at all. She didn't like it. She was very anxious and she wasn't eating, and she was down
that
to
was my Lilu.
seven
Hmm.
point five pounds. Right, Lulu's 10 and she's lean at 10. So you can imagine. I mean, she looked like a dried up chicken. She was so skinny. And I mean, in a sweater, she looked fine, but you took her sweater off, you're like, woo! I mean, she looked really
Yeah.
skinny. You could see
Exactly.
her ribs and
She's burger.
everything.
Next dog sandwich.
And so I went in there and I had a freeze dried chicken in my pocket. And anyways, I met with Luna, and Luna was just like, yeah, whatever. Like, she didn't care about me at all. And Lulu, okay, I'm going to be very superficial. She was so pretty. I was like, God, look at that black and tan chihuahua. She's so stinking cute, But Lulu was just like, oh, like sitting in the corner, like biting her
That was my
fingernails.
Lilu. She
Like
was
she
over
wasn't
the
going to come anywhere
convulsions.
near me. So I asked the lady that was helping me or whatever, I says, I want to see her. Can I see her? And she's like, yeah, but she's really timid. Da da da. I was like, all right, it's fine, And the way that they did it at this place, it was outside because this is California, right? And they take you out into this little yard and it's all fenced in and it's grass. You just sit there and you get to spend time with the dog that you're interested in, right? So I went outside and she let Lulu out there. She sat her down like over the fence, and I just sat there in the grass with my legs crossed, and I just didn't pay any attention to her. And I just sat there, but I was telepathically, or I thought I was. I don't know if I was or not, but I think I was talking to her and telling her, I'm really, which isn't really true, but
Oh,
I told her I'm very calm and very quiet, and you're perfectly safe, which was true, and da 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 da. Well, I don't even know, 5 minutes. maybe 7 at the most, she finally was like, And then she started coming
Mhm.
over to me. She was smelling me, walking around me. I didn't even move. I just sat there. And then she was smelling my pocket. And so I very slowly reached in and I gave her, I did, I totally bribed her and I offered her a piece of
Mhm.
chicken and she snatched, that's her favorite thing, by the way. Lulu loves chicken. Didn't
Mhm.
know it at the time. That's her favorite of over everything else. And then sat there and we made friends and she did end up getting in my lap. But I was sitting on the ground and you can't even hold Lulu even to this day. I mean, you can, but she doesn't like it. Like if you sit on the couch or you sit on the floor or something, she'll come over to you, but she doesn't like to be picked up or held. She never really has. She'll ride in a bag or you could stick her in your purse and take her with you. She's okay with that. But she just, I don't know. I get something from before I even adopted her. I don't know what it is. But
Mhm.
anyways, yeah. And there was more to it than that, but yeah, I ended up winning her over and decided to
Mhm.
get the young dog because she was like the lady that surrendered her. They actually had some information because a lot of times you don't get any, but I
Mhm.
for her I did. Scout I didn't get anything other than he was found outside. Um, she was 1 year 7 months when I got her, and or no 1 year 9 months when I got her,
Almost the age that Lilu was when
and
we got her.
yep,
1 year, six
and
months.
yep. And so yeah, and I've had her 8 years. Yeah,
Wow.
I've had her 8 years. So she's like 10. She's about 10. And Scout's 11-ish. Again, we don't have real birthdays for him, but they estimated him about 7. And no, so he's 12. Yeah, he's roughly 12. Yeah.
Hey, Amanda. So yeah, when I worked at the animal shelter briefly in Arizona, Second Chance, we were allowed to pick a project, and when I saw the name Lulu, on the kennel, and I saw it was her, I thought right away she was so cute. But she was, when she was brought in, they told me she had mange, she had parvo, she was completely emaciated. They didn't think she was going to make it. She did, but
Wow.
whatever happened to her in that early year and 6 months, you couldn't go near her without her going to the back of the kennel and just shaking and going into,
Oh, that's so
convulsing. Just
horrible.
and I said, no, I'm going to work with her. I go out there and I get her, and we already had Piper. But and Shan told me, you're not adopting any animals while you're there, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, I know. Well, within 3 months, I adopted her. And the first thing I did, when I took her off the leash in the house, she just ran, jumped right on the bed. I'm like, well, go make yourself comfortable. But because she was, scared of people, every time we would take her outside to go to the bathroom along with Piper, the slightest sound, she was too scared. She couldn't go outside, even to pee. So for the first, I
Oh
think,
wow.
3 or 6 months, we had to keep the kennel in the apartment lined with papers and stuff so that when she needed to go, she would go in there, we would clean up, and eventually within 3 to 6 months she knew that nothing was going to happen to her, and then she started going,
Wow.
outside. And even until she passed away, anybody that would come up to her, she would still start to shake,
Yeah, something bad.
and
Yeah.
it took her years for us to even allow us to do certain things with her without her freaking out. And so yeah, I miss her. When it was so funny because her name was Lulu, and then I accidentally called her Lilu one day from The Fifth Element, and she kind of like, huh? And we're like, we're changing her name, it's so cute, so we named her Lilu. But people have been sharing comments, and Miss Tarot D says, I agree, Allison, it took me a while to get used to the Chihuahuas. I was always a big dog person. We got small dog because we live in an apartment, but I love golden
Right.
retrievers.
Oh, Miss
Yeah.
Tarody, you should. My sister. Actually, go ahead, and then I'll share what I was about to share. Sorry.
And Judith said, Allison, all of my dogs ate, but one were all rescues. I miss them all and would love more. My cats are all rescues as well. Oh, and I have left one left, and she rules the roost. Oh, Judith, thank you for doing the rescues.
All my
And
cats were rescues.
And Beth said, I did a wisdom panel on my dog. Very interesting. Found out he's more Bichon than Maltese. Very cool. And Miss Terody said, Luella, our new puppy, is so ugly, but don't tell my husband I said that. But she's not. She is absolutely adorable. Oh my God. And oh, Tim, your ex-wife and I focused on retired racing greyhounds.
Oh, I
I would love
love
to do that.
greyhounds. I mean,
Mhm.
I flip out when I see any dog out, and people probably think I'm so weird, but I love greyhounds.
And Karen mentioned earlier that she
Gentle
loves
giants.
spaniels. So Mama Sushi joined us. So let's see. I'm a dog rescue person myself, Tim said. I have Shrine of My Loves that has passed. Their urns are my favorite. My Wait a minute. Their urns, my fave pick of them. Oh, their paw print and their collars. Aw, Tim. Um, and I agree, Miss Terrell D. If I had a house and yard, I would so rescue and foster doggy smart too.
I'll do foster after I retire for sure. I don't know if I'll get up more dogs, honestly. I don't know, but I will do foster at some
Oh
point.
no, Amanda! Aurora has heart failure or needs a stent, but they're sending her home soon. Oh, honey, everybody, just keep sending lots of love and healing energy to Aurora. That's Amanda's daughter. And hold space too for Amanda. I
Wait,
hope she
what?
feels better. Amanda's daughter Aurora was born with some defect. She had to stay in the hospital for a while, and she came home. But apparently, I didn't know this, Amanda. Something about a heart failure, and she might need a stent. She'll be a year old in March. Um, Aurora. So, well, we're all sending prayers to your sweetie,
Oh wow.
Amanda.
That's her daughter.
Aurora, yeah. Let's see. By the way, no pressure, no judgment, but if anyone can, please donate to the pet rescue organizations in LA. Yeah, a lot of animals have are
Yes.
lost and have yeah. So everyone's sharing their foster stories and everything now. Um, oh, it's your mother, not Aurora. Your mother's in
I
the
was gonna
hospital.
say it's like
Okay.
that's like I didn't even know what that's like. I mean, what?
So I didn't know that. So I was because I only know Amanda and her daughter. So yeah, we're sending you and your mom lots of love. Amanda, hope she feels better
I mean,
soon.
that's sad too, but I mean,
Mhm.
an older person and
Listen, yeah.
a baby, yeah, that's yeah.
Well, I know sometimes babies do have to have little stents and things put in. So when I saw that and knowing that Aurora had some initial health problems when she was born, I'm just glad to hear it's not Aurora, but I'm sure mom will be fine too. Amanda, just keep doing the healing energy for her and the prayers. And let's see. So
I wanted to comment to Ms. Tarot D about the golden retriever comment.
okay.
So it's just a little thing. So,
Mhm.
and I don't know if I've ever mentioned on here or not. Miss Charity, my sister, is very much involved with Leader Dog here in Michigan, Leader Dog for the Blind. She's raised or birthed, not her dog, 4 litters now. And her dog is now, they call it career changed. She's retired leader dog mom, Maddie. She's a yellow lab. And then they also have a
Oh,
career changed golden retriever that did not graduate. There's a very high percentage of dogs that don't graduate. But many of Maddie, my sister, yellow labs, many of her puppies have gone on to
oh,
graduate, which is very impressive, and are they're active duty. So it's very, very cool. But anyways, Carrie, my sister's golden retriever, which is actually considered her husband's dog. but it's, obviously it's my sister's dog too.
They're
She
beautiful.
is, and golden retrievers are always pretty. We joke around that she's like Cheryl Ladd dog because she's so pretty. It's just stupid. She's got really long lashes. And although she does know a lot of stuff, she's kind of a ding dong, which is why she didn't graduate. But she's just like, hi. Like she's
Yeah.
just and she's beautiful and she's so friendly and she's such a good dog. And she's very intuitive. She knows how to read, what's appropriate, what's not. She's so good with Scout. And because they can be a lot of really high intense energy, which can be kind of scary for Scout. Like he'll go under my sister's dining room table and kind of hide. Um, and so actually you guys have some of you have seen those dogs because I did a
I
couple
have, yeah.
lives from over there and we all saw the dogs. But anyways, yeah. So at least my sister's got a beautiful golden retriever,
Beth
Carrie.
wants to know, does she run slow-mo on the beach?
She sure does, man. It's like hilarious. Some of the pictures that I have of Carrie, you wouldn't even believe it. It's like really, really. And like when she'll come up and look at me, and the funny thing about Carrie, she falls in love with everybody that comes to their house. And she'll come over and she'll like put her head in your lap and she'll just sit there and stare at you
Oh,
like, I love you. I just love you. Like it's so she's hilarious. She's so sweet and it's genuine. It's the cutest thing ever. She's very, very, very sweet dog.
so are the
Yeah.
labs. I was raised on labs, especially black ones, and I had two of them, and I named them both Big Macs. So I'm just my Big Macs, my black labbies. But yeah, labs are such sweet
Yeah,
animals.
my sister's dog, Maddie, is a yellow lab, and she was actually raised in a prison, which is very common with leader dog. They do that, and they actually turn out the best puppies because those guys put every ounce of energy and effort into the dogs, and they
Mhm.
compete amongst themselves. And but Maddie is freaking amazing. And she actually went on to be a puppy mom. They also choose them for that because the genes are so strong and you want the traits of that dog and all that. So it's actually quite an achievement, accomplishment. And again, most of her puppies went on to graduate. So it's pretty cool.
And Karen says, this conversation makes me think of how sensitive animals are to energies that we can't
Oh
even
yeah.
see. Hmm.
Yeah. There's a
Humans
really
included.
I wish I could think of the name. I listened to a actually, I'll find it for anybody that's interested. I listened to a really, really good book on CD that a woman scientist wrote. And it's all about the nose of a dog. And it's super, super, super interesting. And she also goes off and talks a bit about posturing and the different communications that dogs have with each other, but she goes into all this detail about the nose and how it works and it's fascinating. Like that's why they can literally get around with their nose and not be able to hear or see, and that's why so many dogs do. So they don't even get depressed. My Boston Terriers were both blind and deaf by the time they died, and they were happy as can be.
Well,
it
they had a
it
good mama. Yeah.
well, it's just
They knew
it's
them.
but I mean, yeah, I mean, but because they really are sent before anything else.
Yeah. Um, so Amanda and Tim. So Tim is 62. And he has a stent. He was mentioning, but so your mom with mental health too. So yeah, well, we're all sending mom, positive healing energy. And just remember to be there for her as best as you can. I know I know a lot about what, that can do to one's mental health. Do you remember what the book is called?
I don't, but I will
Okay.
find out.
Okay, so and Judith said, my specialty was retraining abused dogs and cats and loved seeing their transformation. Yeah, that's beautiful, Judith. Thank you for doing that. And my goat order has arrived. You have a curried goat order. I don't know what that is. I don't know what a curried goat order is.
Curried goat. I think she's talking about a meal.
Oh, okay. Jolezzi. Okay, and Janet says, I had two black lab brothers for 12 and 13 years. It was super hard to say goodbye. Yeah, they always are. My new guy is a Great Pyrenees Tibetan Mastiff. Oh
Ooh,
my goodness,
that's probably
Janet.
gorgeous. Mannix. Ooh,
Um,
good name.
he's 5 now. Big lazy boy with a big bark. I bet.
Nice.
And
I
Karen,
love a big bark dog.
Karen says cats have an extra gland in their mouth. That's why they make that funny face. Yep, Mozzie does that. He goes,
Right?
like the big cats do out in the wild, so they can taste what and smell what's on the air. Exactly. It is so funny when Mozzie does that. It doesn't happen too often, but when he does, he's like,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
They
what
do
are you
that weird
doing?
face. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
So Allison and I have time for a few questions if anybody have let me just start that all over again. Allison and I have time for personal questions. So if anybody would like to ask anything, all caps in the chat. And again, no political, third party, health, or legal. And if you're not sure, go ahead, still type in the question. And if we need to reword it a little bit, tweak it, we can do that too. Miss, let's see. Shelby says, I used to volunteer at my local cat shelter for 4 years. They grow on you, let me tell you. There is a hysterical dog in Thompson Square Park that drops his ball outside the fence so people can throw it for him.
Isn't that
And then he
cute?
keeps, yeah, so people would play with him.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
that is so sweet. Now, talking about my Lilo, I wonder if I'm going to dream about her now tonight. So, in the meantime, um, on my end, actually, I was able to find somebody who will be more than happy taking my metaphysical books and my some of my magical tools and whatnot from me, because if I were to donate anything like that to the Salvation Army or the Goodwill, things like that would probably get tossed right out in the trash. So I was able to donate a bunch of books yesterday, and the lady, her name's Liz. She was just so like in tears. She was like, "Oh, thank you." And I said, "I might have a couple last minute oracle or tarot decks I may need homes for. Would you be interested in them?" And she's like, "Oh my God, yes!" So now I feel so much better that
That's
any
awesome.
unwanted tools or books, I know I can donate, and it's going to go to somebody who's really going to need them. So Tim said, my current fur baby I rescued from Pitbull fighting ring. Oh, Tim, she was being used as a bait
Oh
dog.
God.
Yeah, people are sick. Those people should just be. I won't say it here because YouTube might not like it, but I know what I would like to do to those kind of people. So Shelby has a question, and so does Judith. Judith, if maybe you can a little more specific on what we can focus on. And Shelby says, I'm struggling for finding what I want to do for a career. Could you ask my guides if they have anything to say on what field I could do or what I should look into? So Shelby wants a reading on asking her guides about career. Um,
A
I,
job or a career?
I think I read on this for you before, Shelby, but I think it's been a while, so I'll go ahead and she says down here, just want to see what I can do because I'm starting to go back to college and can't decide what I could do. I want to keep open minded. So, if you go back to school, you can always go undeclared for about a year or two, take a lot of different classes, courses, and whenever which ones end up feeling like you're more drawn to or more, like your passion, what makes you happy, what gets you excited. Maybe follow that, and because that's what I did. I took a year off from high school, went to college. I was going to do one degree, and then after taking several other courses, I switched. So, um, you know, sometimes it has to, exactly, what does your heart say? So she's basically saying job and career. So we'll go ahead and pull for you on that, my dear. Well, let me just put Shelby's name back on so Allyson can see the name to reconnect. Yeah, Janet, I wish I could take these books with me, but a lot of these things, but there's just no, money in the finances for a shipping. So these things will get new homes. Hopefully people will be able to um, maybe start their own spiritual paths with some of the books. And Karen says, trust me, if you don't love it, it's not worth it. Yep. So Shelby.
Moon Fox, I think there's something that you at some point were interested in. You might have kept it to yourself, that kind of thing. And your life has just gone into since then has gone into some sort of a different direction. And you've maybe just completely stepped away or don't even think about what that was. There's something at some point that you were interested in. It might be something you didn't even share with anybody. Um, and maybe it's something you just didn't want to, I don't know. I mean, if you didn't, then there would have been a reason.
No, you're right about
And
that.
whatever that is, I wouldn't, you just push back against that if you're going to get any kind of conflict from anybody, like if that's why or whatever. And if you do that and you just embrace it and go towards whatever this is, I think you'll see things much more differently if you just go ahead and do it.
She says art, but art isn't a really stable career, and I want to do something else along that way. And she says, I tried for graphic design and animations, but it wasn't stable, and I couldn't continue it. From what I understand, I thought design and animations were a big business these days, Shelby. I was originally scheduled to have a degree in teaching art and in public schools because I thought that's where the money was. And it turned out it wasn't. And that you go, and they said, well, if you do fine art, you're not going to make a living out of that. Did I really make a living? No, but did I enjoy what I went to school for and my prof for the degree I worked for and earned? And do I make money here and there? Yes, I do. So really, I know it's very important for you to be able to have a degree and where um, you feel, financially secure and stable. But if it really seems to you, make sure that if you do, maybe add like an art or something to a minor as a minor or something, because there are a lot of people that, do art on the side. They'll have another career, but they do work on the side. And a lot of times just working, building up your resume, building up your curriculum vitae, your artist resume. The cards I'm seeing here, I got the Eight of Wands. And so it feels like this is the female, all the cardinals. And all the cardinals are on the top and they're like kind of like taking the limelight. But here's the female. She's moving straight up. And with art, sometimes it takes a while, especially for the women, to be able to rise above and move forward in their fields. That's something to keep in mind. But I also did get the 10 of Pentacles. So for me, this feels like you sitting not necessarily on a fence, she's on the bridge, but kind of looking over and going, okay, financially, I want the support, I want the security, I want, that legacy. I next got the six of, actually, no, excuse me, the Seven of Wands. So it feels like you are having to defend yourself to others about what it is that you want to go to school for. And you shouldn't have to defend yourself to others. If it's something that you truly love and you truly enjoy doing, be open to it. Ask for guidance from your guides. Again, networking, building, There's a lot of art platforms out there now. And again, looking at local call for work. If you're doing another degree on the side. Um, Another quick example, Erin Hansen. She is a phenomenal artist. She went to college to be a biological, something to do with studying the biodiversity or something of the oceans or something. She earned this like big ass science degree in biology or whatever it was. It's a major science. What did she do while she was going to school? She kept her love for art up. She is now I think at least a multi-million-dollar artist. She's incredible. She's got galleries in Oregon, all over the country in the Southwest. She sells books. She's amazing. So don't give up on that dream or goal of doing art for your career. The overall energy, 9 of Cups, happiness, joy. To me, that snake, don't let people's, slithering tongue, or people that might get snaky or whatever, mess with what makes you happy. You find what you love to do and you want to do it, you go for it. So that's what I'm getting for you, my dear. Um, Let me take that down. Was there anything else that you wanted to add, Allison?
No.
I'm going to check. Okay. Um, okay, yeah, the family. Yep. This is something you got to figure out, girl. Let's see. So just sharing the reading. Okay. Well, it's in your bones and
So
soul.
let me say one other thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Moon Fox night, I'm not saying that it's not the same thing, but I was getting that it was something that this was in the past and you didn't act on it. It sounded like you have acted on the art. So I would go, but I mean, maybe whatever. I don't necessarily feel like that's even what it is. And you're pushing back on all this art stuff. I'm just read all your comments. So go back to what, and again, I'm not saying that my reading is spot on, but it sounds like that's not what I was reading on. Because it said it was something that you kept to yourself, that you didn't act on it, but it's something you were interested in and whatever. So unless your art was something that nobody knew about, which I highly doubt that. So yeah.
And she says here, you have to be really good. Well, then
And
work
I'll be right back.
hard. I mean, just because it's a highly competitive and people are saying you have to be really good, how are you going to know you're not going to get that good unless you stay focused and committed to it? That's where I'm feeling there's like all this positive energy around what it is that you want to do, but it feels like you don't have enough self confidence. It feels like, of course, too, you don't have maybe support from the family on it. But in the end, all the messages from the guides, honey, and your own intuition and the cards are are not going to make the change. You're going to keep getting the same messages. It's you that is going to have to take this into your own hands and decide once and for all what it is. And from reading the chat, it looks like you know what it is, and you have to be focused, you have to be determined, you have to be confident, and you have to work at it. It took me 7 years. I had a teacher, two teachers, tell me I should not do art because I didn't have, first of all, they didn't think I had the talent for it, and because I was struggling to learn it. And one was saying that to kind of kick me in the ass, so to speak, but they ended up backing me and took me 7 years, but I graduated. So it's you got to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, all the readings, all the messages from the guides, none of this will matter. It's all up to you, sweetheart. It's you that has to make that decision. Um, you have to be the one to get behind that wheel, that chariot, and drive yourself. If it's what you really want, then you're going to have to dig your heels in, so to speak, and start working on it. Yes, maybe take a job somewhere else, do this or that. Maybe instead of going to college for art, maybe do the schools and get down your basics. But start looking at open calls of work, seeing where you can maybe rent tables here and there, even on Instagram or other places, and just start getting your artwork out there. You have to believe in yourself and your art, honey, or else you're just going to be spinning your wheels. You know, again, let's see, what did Miss Tarot D say here? Whoops. My niece works for a small marketing company doing their computer art stuff, and she also shows work at galleries. So you're just going to have to figure out and ask your guides, how am I going to work with this? Show me, guide me to the opportunities. They can't, you know, they can put you in the pathway of people and opportunities, but those opportunities and people aren't going to be any good if you're not confident and you believe in yourself. You're just going to keep spinning. And hello, Selena, Essence of the Moon. Good to see you. So I think Allyson might be checking on one of her puppies. So Judith, I'm going to go ahead and start shuffling for your question. A love, a love life reading. Judith, wait a minute. Judith, did you already? So I think I had asked if you could be more specific. Oh, did I lose that? Let's see. Oh, look who's here. Hi, Scout. Are you feeling better, baby? Oh, we all love you. Yes, we do. Oh, does you love your mama? Yeah, she's a good mama,
He's
isn't
staring
she?
at the candle flame. My candle's
Mm-hmm.
right next to the camera. I
Oh,
just wanted to put him on for a second. He's feeling much better.
oh my goodness, Miss Tarot D. Look who's on the
Look,
screen.
can you look up so everybody can see your pretty face? He's like, no,
Oh, no.
no.
Oh, did your baby. Miss Tarot D goes, oh, baby, auntie loves you. Yeah, Tim says, what a buddy, pretty baby. Yep, he
Yeah,
sure
he's a
is.
cutie. Thank you.
Okay, so Judith, I don't know if you did a little bit more specification on your question. It says love life reading, please. So Judith, if you can put something more specific, sweetheart, that would be great. And if you did and I missed it already, I apologize, but that would be wonderful for Allyson and I to have something, to focus on. So we'll wait for that. And he definitely looks more alert, Allyson, Miss Tarot said. Yeah.
He does, and he kind of does. The funny thing, I don't pick him up usually. Lulu, I already explained about, but Scout, I usually don't. Like, I was holding him last Friday because he was so just upset, and I was just trying to calm him down. But I don't usually pick him up, so he kind of like, "Why are you holding me?" When I do pick him up. So yeah, but thank you.
So Judith says,
Judith,
I have
I've
been
been single
singing.
for a minute due to being a single parent and then working. What does it say? And then working on my career. Will I get in a great relationship
Or
married?
married. That's a little prophetic. I don't necessarily do
I'll pull on it.
but I will no, but what I'll do is I'll just pull on the energy of a new relationship coming up in the next maybe the next few months. See what that's, what is it? Amy calls it not prophetic, predictive. But let's take a look, Judith, honey. Let's see what the energy is. Especially with all those wonderful things you do for those babies. Tim says, I say yes. So, what is the current energy surrounding Judith finding a relationship? And it's hard to tell time to with tarot, Judith. But we'll see what we get here. Nice. Let me just take a look here. Using my Hush Tarot, Judith, and everyone knows I love getting Jeremy's perspective. So very nice.
I'm ready.
Okay. You take that down so you can. Her name is Judith. I just took her name down so you can have the full
It's
screen.
fine. Judith, there's what I'm seeing here is that I don't know if you're gonna like hearing this or not, but there's something here that and this is so I've pulled this for other people other times, and it's probably pretty common, especially given how love relationships go and whatever. There's something here that actually, I'm going to get a clarifier on that before I say that. I think that there was something. I don't know if you had like a disappointment in a relationship. It might have been something that was short lived, or it might even been very fiery in some sort of way, or it was somebody that appeared as one thing and then they were another, or you might have even ended it, they ended it. I don't even know what, but there was something here that was actually, I'm just going to leave that alone. Where you are now, or where the cards are showing you that you are, there's very much a traditional desire, which is what you would like. I think you would eventually like marriage or a very serious situation. And that might be a new mindset for you, or there's something about it that you're seeing differently that you used to in some sort of way. The advice is for you to finish mourning something, or heal something that you're still upset about in some sort of way. I don't know what it is. And then once you do that, you will come into more of a God, I'm so tired of this damn word rebirth. You'll come into a rebirth, and then because the death card's here in the outcome, and then I think it will hold on, then that's just a feeling. Clarified death. Yeah. And then I got the Wheel of Fortune on that. So there'll be a change once you do that. And again, this Five of Cups, it could be anything, right? I mean, it could be like how you view relationships. It could be healing from a relationship. It could be your expectations need to be looked at differently. I don't know. What is the Five of Cups for you in the advice? The Five of Cups is about, it can be read a lot of different ways, but it's like not, it's like not being happy with how things are, kind of mourning what was, or how you wanted things to be, or blah blah blah. But again, I see you in this very much of a serious, more traditional mindset, like that's your desire, right? And I think that is either a new way of thinking, like maybe you didn't always feel that way and now you do, or there's some aspect of feeling that way that you're looking at differently, because the hidden influence is the Hangman. So that's a change. It's a new perspective. So, but there was something previously, or maybe you weren't really interested, because the Knight of Wands is in the past. Maybe you were just interested in just lighter, simpler, nothing serious, and now you're more into what I described. That could be what this is. Anyhow, I'm just going to leave it there. Hopefully this makes some sort of sense to you.
All righty. So, Judith, yep. Allyson got the Five of Cups, and I got the Five of Pentacles. So
I also got the Three of Wands on that. Sorry, I also got the Three of Wands on that Wheel of Fortune. They'll be moving forward after you do that if you choose to. Sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. So you've got the Five of Pentacles. And that feeling of isolation, loneliness, just drowning in emotions. Maybe this person in the past also left you drowning in debt, just feeling left out, alone, cast out, basically. I did also get the King of Wands. Alison was mentioned maybe a fiery personality. So the King of Wands, someone who is very focused, determined, motivated. Um, but then I also got to go with that the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords can be very straightforward, blunt. And in Jeremy's cards, you've got the ants, you've got, like the fire ants, the burning, the stinging, kind of plowing ahead without thinking. So with this, moving forward into a new relationship, this is still kind of weighing you down, drowning you down, worried that, this may eventually, come to pass again. But this is the past. This is the recent past. This is you moving forward, honey. The overall energy I got is the Hierophant. And I love the Hierophant in this one because it shows it's the keys. We have
Oh,
the keys to um, um, our free will, our life. And with the um the Hierophant too, this could very well have been disruptive of spiritual beliefs. It might have rocked you spiritually, not just financially. These past relationships, just from the other cards, looks like it just really took you for everything. But the overall energy too with the Hierophant in a positive view is that, according to this book, it's the old dogma traditions. They're crumbling, they're falling apart. These whippoorwills are rising above it. Um, it's about basically reestablishing what's spiritually true to you, looking at institutions of career, of work, and this could very well be where the next relationship comes through, is as you start to work through that and you start to work with your career, you get to meet new people, your perspective, your spirituality, brings you into new circles of people. I got the Six of Wands. I got a success card, a victory card. You holding the flag, moving forward, and I also got the Empress. So I wanted another clarifier, and I got the Empress, and the Empress again, not just fertility you know, in child wise, but it's just a beautiful fertility. There's abundance. There's all this potential for new love, new life, new creative projects. And with the crow hood on her, the eyes looking, it's like it's looking to the universe. It's magic, within yourself, this creation, the feathers, everything's that creation, it's all in your hands, kind of like the magician card. But I also wanted to pull from a few of my Lenormands, and I did get the Park, which is about finding harmony and balance in your life. So I'm feeling like that needs to come first. I also got the Book, and I love the skull in this card. It's really cool. And this is about connecting again with your inner wisdom, making most of the opportunities that life's bringing to you. And once you start working that, focusing on yourself, bringing that balance to your life, your own finances, making sure you're financially secure and stable, you're secure in your spiritual, religious practices, and being secure and stable in who you are, and standing in your own power. I also got the Ring, which is about commitment. And so you have to stay committed to yourself and what it is that you want, what type of relationship that you are willing to have and be willing to take. And I love that too, because this ring could also represent that commitment eventually coming in. And of course, I got the Death card. So, it is a rebirth, it's starting over. It's kind of like us taking a look at our mortality and saying, okay, you know what? I am not going to rush this. I'm going to live life. This old way of thinking, these old forms of relationships are no longer going to come to me. I'm open and to receiving this new rebirth of energy, of opportunities, of people coming in my life. I got the beautiful bouquet card. And it's supposed to be a bridesmaid at a wedding. So I think that's just absolutely lovely. She's smiling, she's holding the bouquet. Beautiful messages, abundance, a sense of love, and the overall energy I got is the four-leaf clover, love, success, good luck, happiness. But it all stems from working on the past traumas of those relationships, focusing on you and getting yourself and knowing thyself. And this is good for this hermit year, and just being focused on that. And when we kind of let go of what we're looking for so badly, that allows, for those natural synchronicities, to come through, and the right people, the right man or men, you know will come in, and you'll start to, I think you'll eventually find, your happiness, your peace, but it's all got to come from you, my dear. And I'm way behind, in my chat, so I apologize. Hey, Tom. Let's see. You're welcome, Shelby. This Wheel of Fortune is a collective card this week. I've seen it pop it up a lot. And hello, Jen. Am I able to get a reading? Let me check with Allyson, see if she still has time. Thanks, Beth, for being here. Da da da. Not
I do want
lonely
to
at
say
all.
something.
Okay, go ahead.
Judith was disagreeing with what I said, which is fine. I do want to comment. I did pull a clarifier on the Five of Cups and the advice. I mean, you could read that different ways, but that is a melancholy card. So because it's in the advice position and you're disagreeing with what I said, again, that's totally fine. I believe you. It could be that it's like saying to recognize that sort of feeling in some sort of way regarding whatever. It doesn't mean, oh, you're sitting around depressed or anything. The clarifier that I got on that is 7 of Wands, which is being defensive. So defending something regarding this Five of Cups energy, which could be a lot of different things. And again, I'm not doing like a 10 card pull here. So not sure what that would be. I don't know if none of it made sense. But I just wanted to share that. Regardless, the outcome looks really good. I do think you're going to meet somebody. It's not here, because as so often happens, you ask on one thing and then you get what the message actually is. So, but because of the there's 3 of Wands with the Wheel of Fortune on the Death card, that's a yes. But it's like after, something. But there's several major arcana here, so I think this is just it's something that you're going to go through regarding this part of uh that aspect of your life. So that's all I want to say.
All righty. So, we are at 9:24. I do have to watch my time. Now Jen
You're
Will
welcome.
popped in and asked for a reading. Do you have time for one more? I think I
Mhm.
can squeeze one more. So Jen, Will, if you want to go ahead and put your question, in caps for us, we can read for you. You'll be our last reading. And just so you know, I don't think we've ever read for you, Allyson. I don't do political, third party, health, or legal questions. And if you're not sure, honey, go ahead and post your question anyway. And if we have to kind of tweak it a
Who
little
was
bit, we will.
this?
His name was Jen Will.
I guess it was back a ways because I don't see that.
It didn't look like it was too far.
Which is
Um,
fine. There's a bunch of other comments in front of his, right? Since
okay.
that.
Miss Tarot D, Judith Anderson. If any of those men send you eggplant pics, please share. The last eggplant I saw was a pickle.
That's
Uh,
hilarious. Oh,
oh,
there's
so
Jen
you're
Will.
female. Okay. So, what's your question? Go ahead and put it into
It's
the
so
chat.
funny.
We'll take a look at it. Yeah, I gotta love Miss Tarot D.
Sorry, you guys. I'm snacking on pork rinds and sour cream, which I do once in a blue moon when I'm wanting something kind of snacky. That's his
Mm.
deviating from strict carnivore that I get.
Okay, she says, what does Spirit want me to focus on right now? You can do that. Tom says 3 inch 3 inch killer. Oh, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Oh. Yeah, Tom found the time to join us. Yeah, took time out of his busy schedule. So I am going to go for a deck that I didn't know I was going to use tonight.
Tom, I think I'm supposed to talk to you.
Oh.
Yep.
Tom, what did you do? No. Hello, Rooted Willow. Oh, Rooted Willow, I knew your name, sweetie. It's been a while since I've seen you. I can't remember. Tom goes, uh-oh. And hello, Rooted.
You probably won't want to, though, but it's about the whole carnivore thing. So.
Okay.
I got that hit when we were doing a live, and I never said anything. It was a couple weeks ago. But anyway.
So, Jen. Oh, I am a total carnivore. Are you?
I mean, in the true sense of the word, I think he knows that, but. Okay. Jen Will, what does Spirit want me to focus on right now? Okay, I'm going to mute for a second.
Karen, you were mentioning a Wheel of Fortune. Guess what? I just got the Wheel of Fortune, Karen. So that must be a collective card for people this week. Spirit here. Let's take a looky here. So what is this? No. Okay. So Jen, the first card I got is the Ten of Swords, and the deck I'm using now is the Stardust Tarot. So they don't follow necessarily traditional RWS imagery, but these are really beautiful cards. It's a mix of Egyptian, Christian, all kinds of cool stuff. It's a really pretty deck. So I got the Ten of Swords for you, and the Ten of Swords is it's a painful card. It's a card about it's a card about coming full circle, but it's a full circle of just feeling like you have so many knives or swords in your back. This has to do with a lot of pain, suffering, sadness, hurt. It's just it's a painful card, but what's good about it is it's a coming a full circle one. So what someone has recently recommended when getting these cards is that with the Ten of Swords, the swords that are typically seen, being in the back, it's time to start taking them out, removing them, and start moving up, because once you're down, the only way you can go is up. Next card I have for you. So I'm kind of doing like a past, recent, past, present, future, then an overall energy. I got the Knight of Cups, and I love this Knight of Cups. And I love the stance. So the Knight of Cups is somebody who is very empathic, very feeling about other people's feelings, deeply feels their own, very kind, compassionate, but also very artistic and intuitive. And when it says artistic, I love how they're showing her dancing. So this is connecting with your emotions. The Knight is the kind of a person who wears their heart on their sleeve, the one that's there for their friends, for others, and again, very empathic, very feeling of emotions. I also got coming up, I have the Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune looking at the Knight of Cups and moving forward is good things are coming. Wheel has turned. The tides are turning. There's some tide, water in here. So I love this connection of sun and moon. The tide is turning in this hand here. It could be the hand of fate, but also we have free will too, to a degree, where we can guide our wheel and where we are going forward in our life. Now, the overall energy I did get is the moon, and the moon is about the light that gets shown into shadows, things that somehow secrets are hidden. It shows where lies, deception. This could also deal with shadow work, having to look at what we need to work on. The moon is also deeply about intuition too, the divine feminine, tapping into our natural psychic abilities, like the Knight of Cups, the intuition, the women's knowing. That's also connected with the moon and with the moon phases, like represented on this card. So I wanted to pull some clarifiers to go with that. And it looks like some of this trauma or energy work or shadow work that needs to be done is I did get the Five of Cups. So this is about sadness, regret. So moving past hurt, regret from whatever this Ten of Swords is. I feel like this is all connected to the recent past with this Ten of Swords. I also asked for another card. They just kept coming. I got the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is about resiliency, being strong, standing in there. It's about being kind of feeling like you're battle weary, you're battle worn, but you've been through so much, it makes you stronger. You're resilient. Um, and you're standing your ground, you're standing your place. And I did get another one. I got the Magician. So this energy is that whatever this Ten of Swords is, this regret, this sadness, the sense maybe of depression, um, of that sense of maybe feeling of the betrayal of regret. We're kind of like dancing through that now. We're passing through that now. We're healing that. We're moving forward. And the Magician is about um, setting intentions, having the power to create our own future, manifesting, and as you're moving forward, manifesting a new future for yourself. Um, this might represent a person in your life that was a manipulator that, caused this sadness, but you can also look at this card moving forward as you taking control, like with the Wheel of Fortune, you know, dealing with the work, dealing with whatever trauma or pain or suffering that you've been through recently, working through that, and just taking control of your life. Again, the Wheel of Fortune, you're in control of that. You set your own destiny. You are strong. You are resilient. Bless you. And um, working through, you know, but don't be afraid of that moon card. That moon card, they say, oh, dark secrets is bad stuff. It's a negative card. No, it's a card showing us the beauty in our pain, showing us the power that's in our darkness and the power of the moon to help us start trusting more in our intuition and using that to help to heal and to guide us forward. And that's what I have for you. And I'll give you over to Allyson. Thank you for letting me read for you. Thank you, everybody, for letting Allyson and I read for you tonight.
Who is this for again?
Okay, let me pull her back up. Jen Wynn. Let's see, where did she go? I was looking to see if she had any comments.
Jen, like Jen?
Gen is her
Oh,
name.
Jen.
I haven't seen her. There she
Hi,
goes.
Jen. No, she's there. She just said thank you.
Oops.
So, what was the question? What does spirit want her to know? Is that what it was?
Yeah. Let's see. I tapped on the wrong one. Yeah, what a spirit. I can't go back up again.
That's okay.
It's
Isn't
not
that what it
letting me.
was though?
Yes, spirit
Okay.
message.
So Jen, there's something here that in the past there was something that you did really well at, you were recognized for it, that kind of thing. Or there was a recognition, I shouldn't say, but that you were recognized, but that might be what it was. But that's what's here, or there's an energy of that in some sort of way. Currently, what's being shown here is some sort of a decision that you have either made or that you need to make. I wouldn't know, just kind of apply it to your own situation. And this is something that needs to be done or needed to be done. And like there needed to be like a timeout or a time of reflection in some sort of way. It doesn't mean that you need to physically stop, but there's more like a mental aspect of that Four of Swords. I don't know if you read tarot or not, but it's like that's what's here. And your advice is to do this, to find the strength to do this, to hold steady through this. I'm not going to get into a bunch of clarifiers. I could. So I know some of this might feel kind of vague, but if you already know what this could be, it should make sense. If not, give it some thought later. You can always rewind and come back and watch this. And if you're able to do this, the outcome is, and again, you're asking what spirit wants you to do. This is what's coming through. You'll be rewarded, or rather, it'll result in something of great value to you. I have the Lovers here in the outcome. So, and that's one way that I read it. So, I mean, yeah, it can be read as a decision. It can be quite literally a lover. It can be a very strong relationship. And that actually, I feel like, is what it is you will be granted some sort of, and it's not necessarily a lover. It could be. It could also be a partner. It could be a business partner. It could be whatever. But by doing this thing that I described here, that's the outcome. The overall energy I have is the Hierophant, which is why I feel like this Lovers could be. It could be a relationship. The Lovers with a Hierophant can be a marriage. It can be all that. It also could just be something that's of value to you, more traditional, in some sort of way. The Hierophant, right? The Hierophant can be a lot of different things. So just to recap, there was something here in the past that was very much true and a positive and a good thing, but now it looks like you're almost phasing into something new, or the suggestion is to do that, to make a decision on this if you have not yet already. Hidden influence is taking the time, getting the perspective to do so. Judgment with the Four of Swords. And the advice, strength card, doing this, seeing it through, actually doing it, committing to it. You might be somebody who's a busy go-getter and you have a hard time doing that. Doesn't mean that that's true, but I'm just saying, like, for it to be laid out this way, maybe you're very how you handle things, and so this is being laid out. It's like it would be beneficial to do this, whatever this is. And again, the outcome, the Lovers, whatever that would mean to you, this is a gift. This is a good thing to have the Lovers in the outcome. It's something that would be of high value to you, whether it's a situation or a relationship. And then the overall energy, the Hierophant, which can also be a status, whether it's in a relationship or in life, or of value, or your values, that kind of thing. That's the overall energy. Again, the Judgment with the Four of Swords. It's making a decision about something and reflecting on what that looks like, what that would be. Having the strength to do it is the advice. And again, the reward at the end. So hopefully this makes sense to you. That's what I got.
Already, and she said, wow, the Lovers card keeps showing up when I ask what my purpose is, along with the Hierophant.
Interesting.
So,
And keep in mind too, the Lovers, yeah, actually never mind. I'm not gonna go down that whole rabbit hole. But
just makes sense.
but just yeah, just pay attention, you're seeing it a lot. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I'm glad your reading made sense to you and resonated. Thank you, everybody.
Are you a Taurus or a Gemini? Just curious. What else was in there?
Yeah,
Leo?
yeah, Jen. Allison likes to know signs.
Not
Uh,
always. I'm just
to
saying, I
connect with
mean, it's
cards.
lots of,
Capricorn.
okay, well, we didn't have the devil. Oh,
And Karen said to help people find what they love and teach them that. Quite possibly, Karen. You're very insightful. I like that. Um, so, all righty. Well, everybody, I can't. Oh, it always sucks when the Friday nights go by so fast. It'll be nice when I get established and settled in next year, and I can go back to my regular StreamYard account, and we can just hang out all night and chill. So, anything fun coming up for you this weekend? Any
I'm
fun
still
plans?
gonna be hanging kind of close to home
Mm-hmm.
because of Scout. Anthony's gonna come over. We're gonna do some things around here that I've been
Oh,
wanting to get
sweet.
done. So we're gonna do some home improvement type thingies. I'm gonna repot. I got a giant umbrella plant over here that I'm gonna repot for him and send it to his house because I want this thing out of here. It's taking over my house or my home. So big.
Yeah, my mom had almost every type of plant. Um, well, tomorrow night, Ange and I are going to be back on her channel. We're going to be doing the musical readings.
Oh, that was
So
so fun.
yep.
I
So
enjoyed that.
I think I can't remember if it's 7 or 8, but it will be tomorrow night on her channel. I added a few songs over the last week from my playlists to the
That
wheel,
awesome.
and so for
Mhm.
people who don't know what that is, not Allison, Aunt has this fun little wheel that she spins. She puts all these songs from like the 80s, just favorite songs of ours, and whatever it lands on, we pull up the lyrics, we pull cards for the question, and we see what lyrics we're drawn to that connect with the cards that we pulled in
Okay.
with the cards. So it's a lot of fun. We were getting a lot of connections, the cards and the lyrics connecting together. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then Sunday night, stay tuned for the evening because Karen and I are in cohorts for a little something something. So stay. Oh, look at him! Look
He's
at his
standing
tail
by the
up his
door. He's
head.
like, can we go outside?
All righty. Well, we gotta let baby go. He's gotta go potty. I just love how they tilt their head. He tilts his head like that. That's so cute. So, yeah, everybody stay tuned. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great weekend. Aww. And we'll see everybody in the next show. Good night, everybody.
Bye,
Thank
y'all.
you again.
Have a good night.